Are you a prepper or homesteader looking to connect with like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own preparedness group? Already have a group? Well, look no further than PrepperNet. PrepperNet is dedicated to personal responsibility, individual freedoms, and being self-reliant. PrepperNet has monthly meetings in over 100 cities where you can meet and learn with like-minded people in your area. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Find us online at preppernet.com.
We have exciting news. You can now afford to have your own freeze dryer. That's right, for the first time ever, it's possible to have a freeze dryer in your home. It was invented right here in America by Harvest Right. With this new appliance, you can freeze dry your own food and it will last 25 years. Imagine freeze drying fruit, vegetables, meat, and your own homemade meals. It's as easy to use as a microwave. Learn more about this amazing home freeze dryer at harvestright.com. Again, that's harvestright.com.
You've just joined the Prepper Broadcasting Network, where we promote self-reliance and independence. The views and opinions expressed are strictly those of the host or their guests. Visit us in the interactive chat room at prepperbroadcasting.com.
Hey guys, welcome to the Prepping Academy show. We have Kyle and Forrest here. It's a Friday night. We are live. How you doing, Kyle?
My head hurts.
Your head? Oh my gosh, that's a great first line. My head hurts. I wish.
I'm still here.
Hey, if you're on Blog Talk Radio listening to us, go over to prepperbroadcasting.com. We are streaming live. We have a chat room that people are chatting.
All three of them.
Oh, there's more than three.
It's 5.
There's more than 5. Don't count.
What? Oh, I was talking in thousands.
Thousands, okay. Right. Again, if you're Blog Talk, come over to prepperbroadcasting.com. We are live every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't catch us live, swing over to either on prepperbroadcasting.com has a replay of our podcast into a podcast, or preppingacademy.com. We have them listed there. Just go to iTunes and you can search for Prepping Academy. That's us.
Yep.
So Kyle, I mean, I hate asking this question because someone made fun of me this week. You always ask Kyle, how was his week? So Kyle,
that's being polite. It's being cordial.
I know.
Being gentleman.
I know. So how was your week, Kyle?
My week wasn't too bad. It went by pretty quick. Got through Christmas.
Did you get some coal for Christmas?
No, I got diamonds.
Diamonds, whatever.
Yeah, no.
Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, it was all right. I'm not a big fan of Christmas anymore.
That's because you get no gifts.
Well, no, it's because I've spent the past 17 years dealing with the general public and I'm getting their gifts and seeing how irate and insane people behave. I had a great idea today, though. Everyone was talking about it. And I said, you know what? Let's make Christmas like a decade occasion. Once every 10 years.
Dude, that's the birth of Jesus.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, it's celebration of that.
No, it's the painting over of pagan holidays by the Catholic Church to, bring them into Christianity. Like the Christmas tree, come on.
Dude,
Santa?
That represents, I have no idea.
You play with the words in Santa. And
so are you ticked because you didn't get a video game or prepping supplies this Christmas? Is that what's going on?
A little bit.
You didn't get a video game at all?
No.
Dude,
I'm fine.
You're a gamer.
I am a gamer. You're a gamer too. You're a big old gamer nerd.
No.
Yeah, tell us
old school.
Yeah, tell us about the Garvinator.
The old school games. But nothing these new games. So, we went up to Boone, had Christmas with my in-laws, had a good Christmas, no snow. And,
Disappointed by that?
I only got like 2 gifts. I mean, physical gifts. The rest were all gift cards.
I thought you were going to say they were like metaphysical, like.
So one's like this Yeti thermos thing, whatever. But mine is better.
Well,
and
you understand something, right? We're dads.
I know.
We're at like the bottom of the list. We're at the day before Christmas. Oh crap! I forgot to get Dad something.
But did you buy one gift?
Did I?
Yeah.
For who?
Anyone?
Yeah, I bought gifts.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I bought some very considerate gifts.
Yeah.
And then I even made one. I even told you what I made.
You made some shoes.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I didn't buy one gift. My wife did everything. I'm not allowed to buy gifts because
She even bought her own gifts.
Yeah.
You're a horrible husband.
No, because the gifts I buy are taken back every year, and so she buys everything.
So wait,
and I'm not allowed to buy because I always buy stuff.
Is this
for me.
one of those things where you did it and you did it so bad on purpose so that she would take over and do it for you? It's like whenever you do laundry.
Yeah, you mix the colors in white, let
everything turns pink, and then you're like, I can't. I'm too incompetent for this.
Exactly.
Me don't understand numbers.
Do not tell anybody my secret.
Yeah.
I didn't buy one gift.
Did I tell you she's listening right now?
Oh, well, she's in the other room, but we're talking.
If I hear the shotgun cock, I'm out.
Okay, guys. Shotgun cock. Oh my gosh! If she could get her hands on the shotgun, that would not be good.
Not for you.
So again, this is Prepping Academy, preppingacademy.com. Thanks for joining us. Friday night, live, 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
5,000 watts.
Bouncing off the moon.
Bouncing off the moon. So we're going to go right into your... People were telling me last night, tell Kyle to talk about this one conspiracy theory. And, gosh, I can't remember what it was. But anyway, what conspiracy theory does Kyle have this week? And then I will then make fun of your conspiracy theory.
Okay, so Carrie Fisher was killed by the Illuminati.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I don't. No, but that is one thing you have to mention. And then her mom passing too.
I saw that movie last week.
What movie?
The Star Wars movie.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, it ticked me off.
Yeah, it ticked me off too. Yeah, horribly directed and written.
Well, I wouldn't say that. It's just I didn't like how it ended.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. No, conspiracy theory. I was going to say, because, I did the write-up and I talked about the energy wave. I talked about that months and months ago. The energy wave arrived. There's a little bit of an uptick in earthquake activity, volcanism, stuff like that. Not live long and prosper Vulcan, But, more so it's kind of just this overwhelming sense of something's going to happen before Trump's inauguration. Like, you even see Obama intentionally trying to put in laws that are going to box Trump in, from being able to do anything about Obamacare and the economy and that. And then at the same point, he's trying to rattle the saber with Russia as much as possible to the point where Putin and Trump are going back and forth and they're basically laughing at Obama because you can tell he's just totally whipped and incompetent now at this point.
Right.
So it does beg the question, will Obama try and do something? Because, he made a comment that kind of makes me slightly fearful. He made this comment this past week that said he would have won the election versus Trump were he running. And I'm like, why would you?
I heard that.
Why would you be thinking about that as an exiting president unless you're thinking maybe there's still a way that I can still maintain this presidency?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's
Dude,
probably.
That is not a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it is. I mean, people have for
so
years.
We're seeing this happen.
People for years have been saying that Obama would do something to maintain his seat. That he would try and do something to declare martial law. And the economy, everything going along with it.
We're 20 days away from him. I mean,
you know what?
I just don't see anything happening. I don't see it.
I hope it doesn't.
We have the hero, the savior of the universe.
We really don't.
Oh.
No. All this winning. I'm sure.
I got winning age, man. Have you not seen the video?
Winning? No, I know. It was cute. It was very cute. But I'm just not there.
Not there.
Just not there.
That's a lame conspiracy theory. Have you heard of this conspiracy theory here?
What, TAC Mars?
Yeah. Do you know what TAC Mars is?
I might know it by something different.
Okay.
Are you familiar with it?
Someone in the chat room. That's what he told me last night. And so, but that was not your. Maybe we'll look that. You don't know a conspiracy theory? You're not going to the right. Have you not been watching Alex Jones this week?
No.
Did y'all not have your conference call on Monday?
No.
Okay.
Well, it's a holiday.
I have to say that was a lame conspiracy theory.
Dude, you gotta give me a break. We ended up missing last week. My head hurts, and Carrie Fisher died. I'm in mourning. That was Princess Leia, dude.
Dude,
don't talk.
Did you pull up the photo of her laying in her little outfit, skimpy outfit? You did, didn't you?
That's my screensaver. No, hardly.
Is your wife listening?
Yeah.
That is interesting. Okay, well that was a lame one. If you don't come up with a better one, like black hole. No, not even black. Like chemtrails. I mean, have you talked about chemtrails? I mean, that's a conspiracy theory.
It's not, dude. No.
JFK. I mean,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. You want to talk?
Don't talk about news-related items.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I only try and talk so much about conspiracy theories that maybe affect someone in a way that they can actually alter. Where something that maybe is like chemtrails, you have to admit there's a number of things that even you've watched that make it very questionable and make you kind of lean towards.
I have never really thought that was questionable.
There's something there to it. There's something there to certain things, and there's enough evidence put forth there that you have to question yourself. First of all, say, can I do anything about it? Because I'm a big believer in psychological operations. And some of these things that we see, and particularly by the mainstream media, are just put out there in a way to make you feel so hopeless and like you can't change anything. That like, oh, hey, why should I even bother prepping?
What about a conspiracy theory of Russians manipulating our elections? That would have been a good one.
That's not even a conspiracy. That's like mainstream. That's mainstream media putting out all that crap.
Hey, we'll get our act together on this because
I'm gonna smack you.
Dude, that is just not a conspiracy theory. I mean, Princess Leia. I mean, come on, something juicy. Okay, we'll put a. He's just shaking his head at me. I'm gonna have to come up with a guy, like Todd's conspiracy theory. We'll have some guy named Todd call in from now on.
Oh my goodness. Let's see if we can get Alex Jones on the show.
Alex Jones. Who was it that advertised on our show last time?
Ron Paul?
Ron Paul, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. As opposed to RuPaul.
I guess.
I mean, we could get RuPaul on here. That'd just be awkward.
Okay. So tonight's tonight's topic is what? Do you remember what tonight's topic is?
Yeah, it's supposed to be talking to your family and friends over the holidays, which we kind of missed. I mean, you still have New Year's. I mean, and what better way to convince people than while they're drunk on New Year's Eve?
To be a prepper?
Yeah, I mean, particularly if they're like the paranoid drinker who starts to like get really nervous. What better way to make them sweat? Really scare them into submission.
So we're going to talk about how to talk to your friends and neighbors about becoming a prepper. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think all conversations start out well with an AR-15 in your hand.
Really?
And they go, well, why you got that? And boom, you can go right into it.
Yeah, no. I mean, how many people have you converted into preppers, would you say? And I mean, not people who are like...
I would say a few, yeah.
Several. Not people who are like interested and kind of feeling it out, but people who are just like staunch liberal. Like
they weren't liberals, but they did make fun of me.
You sure they weren't making fun of you for other reasons?
I'm sure. The approach I take is completely different than probably a lot of approach other people take. And I think I have some success at doing it. Success.
How do you do it?
Well, we want to talk about yours first.
Oh, you want to fill me out first? See what
I do? No, I got mine written down. See, I am prepared right here.
Okay.
Well, there's 3 pages of notes here.
Hey, let's take a quick break.
Are you a prepper or homesteader looking to connect with like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own preparedness group? Already have a group? Well, look no further than PrepperNet. PrepperNet is dedicated to personal responsibility, individual freedoms, and being self-reliant. PrepperNet has monthly meetings in over 100 cities where you can meet and learn with like-minded people in your area. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Find us online at preppernet.com.
Well, probably one of the biggest ways I approach it in talking to people is just trying to rationalize with them and trying to apply some critical thinking, because critical thinking tends to be the other national deficit. And, one of the easiest ways to put this in perspective for people is, what if you became unemployed?
Right.
What if you lost your job tomorrow, unforeseen circumstances? And right now, getting another job can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Some people aren't getting jobs for 8 months to a year. So wouldn't it be wise to have some food put aside?
So you're saying taking the Dave Ramsey approach. Hey, you've got to have, for financial, you got to have three months worth of put back and saved.
Yeah, you can put it like that, and then from there you can kind of test it out and say, hey, I wonder if something happens where the economy starts to shut down. And you can't say it's never happened before. It happened during the Great Depression. It's happening currently over in Venezuela, other countries. I mean, obviously, like India, you can't even get cash right now. I mean, there's people who have no money to go out and buy food. So who's to say it's not possible whenever you have, op-eds in the New York Times saying, hey, we're going to get rid of the $1,500 bills.
Right.
So what happens?
Okay. So how about your wife? How did you get her on board?
Oh, I just put my foot down and said, this is good.
Dude, you're going to get beat when you get home, because I know she listens. No, really. I mean, was it over time, or? And have you ever converted someone? And then how did you? Okay.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about that.
So, as far as things with my wife, it was one of those things more so where I could appeal to her through the Bible. And it's almost one of those things where it's like, if you're not doing this and you're saying you're a Christian, you're really a hypocrite. Because there's several, main stories throughout the Bible that you're literally told to prepare. And even Jesus himself said, if you have a cloak, go and sell it and get yourself a sword. And there's different theological approaches for that. And, I'm sure some people would try and argue the semantics of it.
Okay.
But I'm going to take it the way as I see a certain archetype working throughout the Bible.
Okay.
Now, as far as probably my best conversion story, a couple of years ago, I was working with this guy, and he was a homosexual, staunch liberal, Hillary supporter all the way. Like, he could not wait for Hillary to run for president. I took him to see a Dinesh D'Souza movie. And I think it was America 2016. It wasn't Obama's America. And total anti-gun, everything. And it's probably funny because a guy like me, you would not take me as the type of person who would spend any time maybe with someone of that lifestyle or anything.
Okay.
But it's one of those things where it's not just as a, someone who's trying to convert people towards prepping, but it's out of kind of the compassion in my heart to say, hey, I'm also a Christian. This is what's going on in the world. You've been deceived. A lot of people are being deceived. And I think that it's a prepper's responsibility to try and get people to open their eyes to what's going on in the world. So anyways, we go see this movie. He and I are sitting right next to each other, holding hands. No, just kidding. I had to throw that in there. But so we're watching the movie.
Oh, well, you just lost, 15,000 listeners.
Yeah, so I looked over at him, and his eyes are wide open, and his mouth is like hanging open. It's like his jaw is like.
So you kissed him.
Yeah, no, it was funny whenever I did it. When you do it, it's not nearly as funny. So I thought he was being disrespectful. I thought he was going to be like, man, this is just crap. So we walk out of the movie. He did not say a word. Sat through the entire thing. He looks at me and he goes, is that real? Is that what's really happening right now? And we talked for maybe about 45 minutes outside the movie theater. Every once in a while I get calls from him, still to this day. And he's like, so I got my gun. I got ammo. What do I do now? Hey, I seen this in the news. I bought more food. What do I do now?
So it's okay for liberals to become preppers, right?
Absolutely. They're the best ones because it's one less person you're going to have to shoot.
Dude.
I'm kidding.
The opinions on this show. Actually, on the Drudge Report, I saw that they're saying that now Democrats are buying guns and food and ammo.
Well, and they're doing it for a very different reason, and that's kind of what's scary. And this is
they're doing it because they think Trump's going to get us in a nuclear war or something.
Well, no, people who think that aren't familiar with world history, particularly they're not familiar with World War II. Whenever the Nazis took power, it was because there was a great polarization within the country after economic reform and collapse. And the Nationalist Party, which was Hitler's party, was able to come in there and take power. And it was really the nationalists versus the communists. The socialists, they tend to be useful idiots, and they kind of die away. And then the communists come in, and they try to assert their power. And that's really what Hitler was trying to overcome there. And that's one of the reasons they were still at war with Russia.
So you're thinking that's what they're doing?
That's what's happening here. And a lot of people have said this before in one of our previous shows. The Communist Party of America is alive and well. And if people don't believe it, all you have to do is turn on your television to see the variety of riots, groups like Black Lives Matter, things like that are becoming more and more prevalent in the United States. These groups are being backed by that movement.
Oh, I agree with that.
And they're being used as useful idiots to be put out there and stage things.
I'm afraid they're going to start coming to our meetings. But, okay, here's the way I do it. I do it a little different. It's systematic. Well, kind of the way you do it. Mm-hmm. But I, a good friend of mine, we had lunch, and I wanted to bring this subject up. And I asked him, I said, hey, have you ever, been in a disaster like Sandy or Katrina or anything like that? And he had. Mm-hmm. And I asked him, I said, well, let me ask you, if you look back on that event, what items do you wish you would have had? And right there on the spot, out of the clear blue sky, he started listing things. He goes, man, if I'd have known what was going to happen, I would love to have some food, a generator. I would love to be able to, he said, lift my car up 2 feet. If he could have lifted his car up 2 feet off the ground, it wouldn't have, it wouldn't have flooded. And he was saying he was saying all these things, and all of a sudden, I said, well, do you feel that could happen to you again? And of course he said no, because he no longer lives in Florida. Yeah. The hurricane. But I asked him what events could happen here, and it was instantaneously. I got him telling me the answers of what could have made his life better through a disaster. Yeah. And he thought about that, and he has come to a couple of our meetings here in the Charlotte area.
So what you're saying is kind of like, I was saying with the critical thinking is, I've been a long time believer, even whenever it comes to our faith and talking about apologetics and that, I can't convince anyone of anything. I can argue my point. Mm-hmm. You have to give someone the seeds to, the breadcrumbs to follow that path.
He took that in one meeting, and literally he started going, you know what, that's a good point. And from that, we had other conversations. Now, most of the people that I talk to and hang out with, I go to church with, or just hang out with, mm-hmm. and like you said on that, it's total scripture. I mean, you give me 15 minutes, and I'll tell you exactly from the Bible why you need to prep. And if you, in a sense, if you take that and you don't, it's on you. And that's kind of the attitude I have about it as well. Yeah. But I never go all doomsday. Never.
I do with some people.
I do
with some people because there's just these like happy-go-lucky optimists that I'm a realist. People call me a pessimist, but I have a bright outlook on some things. I never talk about
economic collapse. I never talk about an EMP. I never talk about anything like that.
Well, because when you do it, people tend to look at you like you're a conspiracy.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Or if you started a conversation like, hey, today I was watching on Alex Jones.
Yeah, they're like, who's that? It's a guy on YouTube. And they're like, you're an idiot. Because it's not mainstream media. It's not branded.
But most of the time, I will. I'll make a statement because people think, first of all, they don't know the Bible, and I'm not. And there's other ways to do this instead of the Bible, but we're going to talk my way right now. Is I look at them and I say, hey, does God put food on your plate every single day right now? And they go, well, no, I work for it.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's an emergency, do you think God's going to put food on your plate? And I go, no. And then I go into several verses, from Proverbs 27:2 or Genesis 6:21 that tells people straight out of the Bible that you need to do it. A prudent man foresees danger and takes precaution. That's Proverbs 27:2. And in Genesis, it says you are to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and store it away. It tells you to store it away. And then there's the ant one. There's a ton of different things in there that tells you. Now, God's not saying, hey, go store 15 years of food. He did tell Joseph that. He told him for 7.
7 years, yeah.
But not. He's not talking about being a hoarder. He's not talking about, he's just saying that, that's like an insurance policy. And so that's how I come at it with people that I go to church with or people I know.
Now, what do you say to the people who typically, because a lot of people who are potentially going to become preppers are usually from a Christian background.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to the people who say, well, the rapture is going to save me?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what I'll say. Well, you've never read the Bible.
You misinterpreted that.
Because as you know, I am not pre-trib. I have studied it for almost 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not going to happen that way.
Now, let me tell you my biggest objection, and I want to see how you handle this one.
Okay.
I have a lot of family and friends who, whenever we discuss this topic, they're respectful and they'll hear me out and they'll say,
Mm-hmm.
well, I agree, I see it, but you know what? I just wouldn't want to live through any of that, so I'm just not going to do anything.
So then you're being in disobedience to God.
Wonder
God wants you to
someone who's not even religious. Now,
Okay.
there are people who are religious, and I do tell them. I said,
you know what I would say?
You are being,
great. That's one less mouth for us to feed.
but they are still going to try. They're still going to try and call you. They are still going to show up at your door. A lot of people don't have setups like you or myself, so they need to learn to address people whenever they do say these things, and make sure there's something where, you know what, if they do say that, then you almost have to very bluntly say, well, if that day comes, understand that I'm prepared to take care of X, Y, and Z, not, you.
Right. So that's when I tell everybody that I kind of came out of my prepper closet.
Mm-hmm.
I had to have a plan to not be here. And because I knew that was going to happen. So if something happens and I'm not at the house, there's no reason for me to go back to my house.
Yeah.
We got a plan. We're gone.
I hate to say it. As long as I've been prepping, as many conversations I've had, even with family members,
Mm-hmm.
human nature is a scary thing.
Oh yeah, because they will. People will come to my house. I guarantee you they will.
There's family and friends. I fear that if they did not do what they're supposed to be doing right now, if the crap hit the fan tomorrow, and I was home, and they showed up, it would not be a pretty scene. Because within a matter of weeks, I fear that these people who don't prepare, they didn't heed that calling.
Well, here's my thinking. I also have time to prepare. So I have the ability to not. Let me read this. I'm sorry we're all going religious on you, but let me read you this verse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's from 1 Timothy 5:8. It says, if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for his immediate family, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever.
I'm very well aware of that.
So, from that, I've got to have provisions for my family and my relatives.
Let me put it to you this way, though.
So I have time and I have the money.
If you have the time,
I need to do it.
If you have the time and the money, absolutely. But there's a lot of people who prep and maybe they live in rural areas. The economy is not that great. I mean, we live in Charlotte. There's a pretty good amount of opportunity here for us. I wonder if someone has a very limited budget and they can only provide for, their sons and daughters and, their wife, something like that.
Okay.
And they have 30 family members and they all come over to their house. And, within a week, 2 weeks, all the food is going to be gone.
Well, I mean, that's where you've got to plan to not be at your house, to be at a location that only certain family members know where you're going to be. And you tell them you're not going to do that. But I feel that I have to provide for my relatives and my family.
So what I hear you almost saying is
even if they're not sold on it, I've got to prepare somewhat for them.
Precisely, but let me put this in concept for you. It's kind of like what Jesus said: if you were to sin, if your eye causes you to sin, you should pluck it out. So it's almost as if being in that location is going to cause you to sin because you are not going to have the means to provide for this family, it is best to remove yourself from that situation.
No, that's not what it's saying.
You disagree?
It says for anyone that does not provide for his relatives.
But wonder if you couldn't.
Well, then
you should remove yourself from that.
No, then you're in disobedience if you couldn't.
But if you can't, and you have all those people coming, I'm saying you should remove yourself
from
that
position. How many bags of
position.
rice can you buy for $1,000?
I wonder if someone doesn't have $1,000.
Well, over a year's time, 2 years' time, they do.
So what I'm hearing is a lot of people are not very good then because a lot of people are not doing this.
So we'll take my family. I think I'm pretty lucky because I think every part of my family, I'm talking brother-in-law, sister-in-law, I'm talking everyone in my family, I think has a concept of prepping and that just put food back. Now, have they done that? A little bit. But but if not, you, Kyle, are required to put some back and have some stuff for your family and relatives, and even your mother-in-law.
Ouch. That's cruel.
So we're going to come back from the commercial. We're going to take a commercial break, and let's talk about some serious conversations you can have with your friends and what tactics work and what tactics don't work.
I'm going to bring up your neighbor, too.
My neighbor. No, we can't talk about him. He listens to this podcast. Dude, we'll talk about it when we get back. Let's go to the commercial. G-Man, if you'll take it to the commercial.
Oh, my God.
Well, not sure if G-Man's taking us to commercial or not. But he said we are going to have a live mic through our commercial, by the way.
Find peace of mind for your family at Forge Survival Supply. Founded by United States Marine Corps veterans, Forge is the premier destination for quality American-made survival and emergency preparedness products. Freeze-dried foods, water filtration, fire starters, fully equipped bug-out bags. Find everything your family needs to stay safe, protected, and nourished during times of uncertainty at ForgeSurvivalSupply.com. Delivery is fast and it's free on all orders. Need help? Call our 24/7 support team. As a listener of this program, Forge Survival Supply would like to give you an additional 10% savings. That's right, an additional 10% off your entire order, plus free shipping by entering discount code SURVIVOR at checkout. That's ForgeSurvivalSupply.com and use discount code SURVIVOR.
Okay, we're back. We are back. Thought we had 3 commercials there. Apparently we have 1. G-Man is kind of off-grid right now.
Off-grid.
Off-grid. And he's having some technology issues. That's our producer, by the way.
Didn't he say he was receiving his internet via an old Russian spy satellite?
I thought it was through, like, ground waves.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you brought up my neighbor. My neighbor, he lives several houses down from me, and he on, I won't say a daily basis, but weekly he'll contact me. Even today he contacted me. He was listening to one of our old shows and wanted to buy a battery, a inverter. No. And so I told him what to get, and so he refuses to call himself a prepper.
Yeah, pretty much at that point, you're in the closet, but you're a prepper.
Yeah, and that's why, because he's got a little bit of food, not a lot. He's got a little bug-out bag he started, and he refuses to call himself. Matter of fact, I text him and say, "Hey, say you're a prepper, and I'll help you."
Just come out of the closet.
And he won't do it. Okay, some steps, some good ways to bring this up to family members and friends, how to get them to start thinking about it. You give an idea, and then I'll give an idea.
I usually use the news.
The news, okay.
Yeah. I usually blame Obama for something.
You're right.
Well, that's usually what happened anyways.
Uh-huh.
I honestly, my mom and I go back and forth with this a lot, where I've always been trained to kind of look at the news through a biblical perspective.
Uh-huh.
She's always been taught to look at the news, more so look at the Bible through the news perspective and try and fit things into that puzzle.
But you can't talk to all family members and friends.
You can't. You can't. But there's a lot of people who, they see what's going on and they have trouble interpreting it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's usually, I kind of try and make a combo and bring in the Bible with the news and try and make sense of things for people. So that's typically what I do.
Right. Well, someone mentioned in the chat room, kids. If you can ever get kids involved, their kids involved.
It depends on whether or not I like their kids.
Well, that's true.
I mean, I don't want.
Well, I mean, and that's a good thing. You find something that scares them, and a lot of people, I think like a Hurricane Sandy, we had floods on the East Coast of North Carolina. We can always talk about Hugo, except not everyone can relate to that. That was 20 years ago or something. There was a big hurricane that came through the Carolinas, and power was off for 10 days. But I think you bring something up like Argentina or something that's going on, like you said, news going on in the world, and go, can you believe in Argentina right now they can't buy milk for their kids?
Yeah.
It's being rationed out. Do you think that ever would happen here? And they, of course, would always say no. But I think you got to bring something up that kind of, this might not be the first conversation. It might be the second or third, and you plant a seed to get them to start thinking. And I think that's the first step you got to do. If you go to All Doomsday and go, hey, here's a book written by Bill Fortune, and the EMP is going to hit, and we're all going to die unless you do these 14 things.
Yeah.
No one goes for
that.
Well,
it's even like with me. How many prepper books have I read?
0.
Yeah, I've read The Days of Noah, which was recent.
I know.
But
we read a lot of books.
But I mean, getting started out in it. I mean, I never read about prepping really at all to begin with.
Oh, you don't?
I mean, what got me started on it was obviously family, but then actually it was the Holocaust survivors I knew, and them kind of relating things that were going on currently or years ago in the United States versus what they actually grew up in and what they've seen.
Right.
And to me, I love history, and to me that clicks when someone says, "I saw this before." I'm like, "Oh crap!"
Right. But I always try to bring up news. I think that's a great thing to do, is bring up news, or bring up a Sandy or Hugo, and just ask them what they would have done if they knew what was going to happen before it happened. What would they do? And let them list out the things. Even though they're not in their mind, they're going, well, I would want some food.
Yeah.
I would want this. And all of a sudden, they're listing out things that they should have had or they wish they would have if something happens. And all of a sudden, they're planning their own preparedness. I think that's great.
Well, what do you think about games like the Conflicted series?
I think, not for new people.
Too much? Yeah,
I think people that have never really looked at the concept of prepping or thought about it, when you tell them the economy is going to collapse or EMP is going to hit the United States or a nuclear bomb's coming, it's 100%. They don't believe it. They don't believe it can happen at all. I mean, it's just they don't believe it's going to happen. And so you've got to start with something that is a possibility for them to happen. A job loss.
Yeah.
A tornado. The gas line that comes up from the Gulf of Mexico, comes up through the south up to Charlotte. And how many times last year did we wait in line for gas? I mean, yeah. And this happened several years ago as well. So I sent a message out to a lot of people in the Carolina Prepper Network. Hey, get some gas, store it. Here's how you store it. Keep it. You should always have gas. You should have enough gas to get out of the city or get to where you're going. Do it. And all of a sudden, an event happened, and they started doing it. So now I have gas, you have gas, everyone has gas stored. Gas is plentiful right now, no problem. But there are people that actually, I text a lot of my top 20 friends, mm-hmm. and not all of them are preppers, and I text all of them, and almost every single one of them at least went out and filled up all their car tanks and all their gas cans. And all of a sudden, they don't know this, but that is the first step of prepping.
Yeah.
And they see something that could be happening in the future. They prepare for it. Now, did they get enough? No. Did they store it properly if they stored it? No. But that is the first step. They were concerned enough to go get some gas.
Yeah, we all kind of learn by trial and error. I mean, how many bug-out bags have you had?
It's one, but it's changed.
It's evolved a lot.
As a matter of fact, I ordered something today to put in there. I told you there. And you said, I wouldn't put that in my bug-out.
I didn't say it like that, but I mean, it's just, I wouldn't put it in
I'm going to put it in my bug-out bag.
Yeah, I mean, you're strange.
I'm not in my everyday carry, though. So anyway, I ordered something today. Kyle's like, I wouldn't put that in my bug-out bag.
Yeah, no.
So, but anyway, we'll talk about that in another episode. But I think gas and the gas shortage, that was good. See, what we need is something like the phone service to go down for a few days. Wouldn't that be? That would
the
be
cell phones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, cell phones would be huge.
That would shake people up big time. Yeah. And we've never experienced that.
No,
we really haven't. That's pretty fortunate. Or the power grid go down.
I think if the cell phones ever go out, I think it'll be intentional. Unless it was an EMP, obviously,
okay.
But I think it would be intentional.
Okay. But yes, so what's another way, or what other way would you suggest people, especially family? Okay, with family, one of the things I've done is like, I'd say, hey, I'm a prepper, mm-hmm. and I want you to know that I got some provisions for you set back. Now, that has challenged some of my family members. They go, what? I said, well, yeah, I believe something's going to happen or could happen, and you don't have enough food, and I want you to know that I have a little bit of provision for you and your family. Ooh. That shows them the intent that I care about them,
yeah.
Which I don't. And two, they go, why would he do that? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
He must really believe something's going to happen if he's spending money on my behalf. I think now, some people would just go berserk and go, don't do it for us. We don't care. We want to be the first to go. And, people like that, I say, good, be the first to go. There's more food I have.
Yeah, I hate to say this. Do you almost feel kind of like the more time that goes by with being a prepper, and obviously you come across these conversations where people say some mess up, like the orphan thing. Remember that one time?
Oh, yeah, the guy that said he would shoot the orphans that came to his gate, no matter what.
Yeah, do you ever just feel like you're already seeing it kind of play out? Like people are already like, the society's still intact and everything, but for the most part, people's mentalities are just kind of already so far gone that it's like, you know what?
See, I don't see that.
I constantly feel like I've actually got, I think I told you even last year, I was kind of like walking through the mall going to work, and I was like, I kind of stopped seeing people as people, and I kind of just start seeing them as
zombies, like from The Walking Dead.
Like they're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. And like if I tell them that, they're gonna look at me like,
wait a second, that's my line. I say that all the time. You're gonna die.
Yeah, but it gets to a point where you look at people and you're just like, there's no effort there. They don't care. They care about them.
I think the movement is growing though. And I guarantee you this: as times get rougher and tougher, more people will join this movement.
And it would be good. It would be nice, even with the liberals. But we have to make sure. One of the things I've been saying since I got into prepping, everyone wants to talk, and particularly the liberals are getting into this now because they're also butthurt over Trump. Is we need to have an American Renaissance, not a revolution. And that means us actually educating each other and coming together. And it kind of means putting off the mainstream media, putting off agendas, putting off special interest, and moving forward with something with a better intent. And the real question for me is whether people are even capable of that anymore.
That's why we have Donald Trump. Dude, I'm just kidding. I'm glad he's there. I think it extends the timeline of a major disaster, but not by a lot. Because he cannot stop an economic collapse. He cannot stop an EMP. He cannot stop a nuke, a stray nuke from North Korea or something. He cannot do a lot of things.
Now, I have heard, though, that if we attach him to a rocket and launch him in the direct path of a solar flare, his hair will deflect it back at the sun. No, I'm happy. I can't say I'm happy he won. All I can say is the country's so polarized, it irritates me so much.
But that's okay. If everyone was on the same page, that would be. I mean, we wouldn't be having a show.
I think we still would be. I really do. Because I think that prepping and this whole environment, this transcends politics. We see what's going on, the political realm, and we try and adjust accordingly. But if we didn't have the politics in this, it would do away with a lot of the paranoia. But the prepping is about being practical and seeing what's going on in the world. And it's risk assessment. It's insurance.
That's a good point. Being a basic prepper I think would be a Dave Ramsey approved. It's just common sense.
Yeah.
It's just common sense to put 3 months worth of salary back because you may lose your job or something come up. That's just common sense.
So let's just say this. Is it safe to say, number one, versus a political and we'll just say an ethical and moral background, if you have friends and family who you're a prepper, maybe you're in the closet, maybe you're not in the closet, and you have not talked to them about this, are you being a bad person?
Yeah,
you're being irresponsible.
Well, I don't look at it like as my religion. I don't look at it like that, like I must share it and tell people, because that's how I look at my religion. That is something I must do.
I mean, we're both the same there. We will not back down. We are not apologetic. It is what
right.
it is.
But when it comes to prepping,
I feel like it's a courtesy. Like I owe you a common courtesy to say something.
I agree with that. But the question is, have you ever not talked to someone because you're like, we don't even want you. We hope you die.
I will be honest. If it's someone that is so far out politically that I think they would be a danger to others, that they should not have a firearm, and that honestly, That's on both sides. I've come across some people who are so scary.
Oh my gosh!
They just give you that heebie-jeebie feeling.
But it is a courtesy. It's a courtesy to tell people. I feel like I'm doing them a favor. Now, when I start talking to someone about my faith, that is a little bit more serious. That is life-changing more so than prepping. Prepping, you know what? I don't know. Some people I don't care. I don't know. I don't like to mix the two either. Meaning, if I'm going to tell someone about my faith, I am definitely not going to talk to them about prepping. But when I'm talking to them about prepping, I feel like it is a courtesy, and I look at people dumbfounded when what I'm telling them is common sense things to do or why they should do it.
Yeah.
Hey, in the chat room, if you guys have some questions or if you guys have some comments, if you will just type it in all caps, that way I know it's a question, and we'll talk about it on the show here. Hey, guys, a couple things, and we'll go back. We'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing. We forgot to do our drawing.
Well, we did. I thought about the other day. I was like,
we forgot to do a drawing. So we're going to do the drawing this week and announce the winners next week. Christmas came up, and eggnog was, I was down in some eggnog. Now, I don't get drunk.
Yeah, I still want to talk to you later about those selfies you sent me.
I started a new job. Things have been crazy in December. But we're going to, my neighbor down the street is like, dude, when are you going to do the drawing? I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. So we're going to do the drawing. Hey, y'all visit us on our website. It's called preppingacademy.com. preppingacademy.com. Subscribe to our podcast. We're live every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Prepper Broadcasting Network. Last night was a sad night. One of my favorite people that I listen to on the radio /podcasts, by Bobby Akart, is, I guess, stepping down from doing his podcast. And he's always was excellent. He's very good. I could never be as good as him. But last night was his last show. I think he's going to do a couple more. But officially last night was this until we get someone to fill a slot, which I think we already have someone. But that was a sad note. I really, really enjoy listening to him. He's written some great books. You can go on Prepper Broadcasting, look up, get all his information about his books and everything. But he's going to devote a lot of time to writing, which I'm kind of glad for that because I like his books. So anyway, any final thoughts about, how to talk to family members? Family members only.
Family members only.
Mm-hmm.
I have enough of a difficult time just talking to them as is sometimes. So it's easy to tell them they're going to die. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
No.
Oh, you're going to die. That's my first statement ever. You're going to die. Without the knowledge I have, you're going to die.
Yeah. No, I think the biggest thing for me is whenever it comes to family is just the idea that, I don't want to deny these people. So by God, you're going to start doing something and make sure it counts, because at the end of the day, men who are into prepping, and I'm not saying that women can't do this as well, but those of us who are strongly into it within our families,
mm-hmm.
I have made it very clear, and other family members have made it very clear who are also of the like mindset, that should something happen, you will all fall in line behind me. And there is no question about that. I don't care whether you're younger,
right.
whether you're older, whether you have a gun. If you did not do X, Y, and Z,
mm-hmm.
and you do not understand what's going on, the importance of how we prepare, you fall in line.
Right.
That is not a question.
Oh yeah, that's assumed.
Yeah,
for sure.
So if you think that whenever the crap hits the fan,
in any group that I'm in,
yeah.
The only, not that I want to be the leader or the dictator. It's just that I don't know anyone except you that has been prepping and know I don't know. There's not many people that. There's this one lady. Her first name, I'll just say her Jennifer. Comes to our Charlotte group. That girl is on top of things.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, this is new to a lot of people. We're like the old timers.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing it so long. But and then I got a couple friends, Bruce and Joe. They're good. They know what they're doing. But yeah, anyone else, it's just But for family members, I think it's easy to talk to family members about this. And the way I do it is, hey, I want you and your wife to know that, I have put back some food for y'all in case something happens.
No.
And right there, I think that if do it and not just say it, just do it.
Yeah.
Even no matter what it is. And I think that breaks down some walls, because all of a sudden your family member goes, wow, really? You did that for us? Why would you do that? Are you nuts? And then you can go into, now they're asking you questions. And you're like, well, if you want to use the Bible, or you can just say, hey, I'm just feeling uneasy about some things. I know we got Trump in there, but I'm just feeling uneasy. And, the economy, and just kind of touching some things.
You do it to show some concern, some compassion, yeah. I think that's absolutely relatable.
So, but I think that's how you start with family members. I think that's the best way to do it personally. Is, hey, I'm putting some provisions back for you and your family. Now that doesn't mean, hey, come over to my house or my retreat.
Yeah, no.
That means, hey, I'm trying to get a conversation where you start to do this more yourself.
Yeah.
If not, you're going to die.
Precisely. Like once you obtain a certain level and you reach this, then we can include you.
Now I do have friends that I'm in a group, and one of the guys said, hey, if I can't make it to the retreat, and you make it there before I do, if my family comes up the driveway, make sure they don't get across the bridge. I'm not sure if he's serious yet or not. I'm trying to figure that out because I'm afraid to ask. But that's been mentioned many times.
Interesting. Well, I'll tell you, this has been a good show. It's important. I hope we've given some folks some ideas whenever it comes to talking to family and friends. Mm-hmm. I'm more excited about next week's show. What's next week? Do you remember?
We're going to predict the future.
We are going to be predicting the future. That's right. Every year, every prepper forum out there, they say, here's the next year. What's going to happen? Uh-huh. And I think I have some pretty good stuff to go along with that. A little bit more stuff as far as conspiracy theories. Mm-hmm. And
we're going to predict what's going to happen in 2017, and we are going to be right.
Yeah.
So it's not a prediction. We're actually going to tell you what's going to happen.
Yeah. A lot of you are going to die. We're just kidding. Maybe. Potentially.
People are going to die.
Maybe 90%.
So we're going to tell you what's going to happen in 2017. And in 2018, you can come on and you can say thank you.
There won't be internet in 2008.
Oh, okay. Hey, guys, go over to preppingacademy.com. Join in on our mailing list. It's not too late to get into our drawing. We're giving away lots of great stuff. It's on preppingacademy.com. We're going to give that away. We're going to draw that. We'll announce that so I'll do it next Friday. We'll do the drawing, and then we'll announce it that Friday night. Again, go over to preppingacademy.com. Great show, Kyle. We are done. Next week's on, we're going to tell you, we're not going to predict. We're going to tell you what's going to happen in 2017. And if it doesn't happen, what do you mean? It will happen.
Yeah, it'll happen.
It will be so.
It might not be on the exact day and the exact minute, but it will happen.
We don't see in the future. We know the future. Okay, maybe. Okay, guys. Good show, Kyle. We will see you guys next Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're broadcasting. It's live. We're out. Here. No last word? Okay.
I guess that was the last word.
Okay,
Today's broadcast has come to you through the courtesy of the Prepper Broadcasting Network. See our hosts, show schedules, archived programs, and more at prepperbroadcasting.com. Thanks for listening.
Has your data been hacked? Do you feel uneasy about the vulnerability of your personal information online? Were you involved in the Target, LinkedIn, or Microsoft data leaks? Don't know? If not, then pay attention. Join Forrest Garvin from PrepperNet for a free webinar on privacy and security. Gain insights into safe internet browsing, VPNs, crafting online aliases, secure emails, detecting if your data has been hacked, and managing passwords. Secure your spot today for this webinar on privacy and security. It's free. This webinar delves into comprehensive strategies for bolstering your online privacy. We've got you covered, from fortifying your passwords to shielding your financial information and mastering state-of-the-art encryption techniques. We're offering 2 convenient dates to suit your schedule. Reserve your spot now at preppernet.com/privacy. Don't let cyber threats erode your peace of mind any longer. Take the first step toward a safer, more secure online experience by joining us for our free webinar. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to safeguarding your privacy. Sign up now at preppernet.com/privacy. We'll see you there.